Hey guys, my name is Ryan and welcome to Overwatch Central. So much like the last changes I went through with Orisa, Junkrat, Roadhog and Widowmaker quite a few weeks ago, me and one amongst many sat down to talk about the changes and what impact they would have on the game. Both from what we've experienced playing on the PTR, but also what we know from the scene, what's going to change, bringing some opinions of some of the higher tier pro players as well. So today we talk about the viability of Mercy and D.Va, and just to give some good insight on how to play above these heroes effectively. So quite a few big changes to sort of pick from. For you, what's the most important and where do you think we should start when discussing D.Va, Mercy, and also Reinhardt as well, let's not forget.
Yeah, it's a very small Reinhardt change. Let's start with Mercy, I suppose. It's probably the biggest one in the patch. Just because it's going to change how the game works. Like, I've already seen a lot of people talking about this, like pros tweeting out, for example, about how fights are just very different in terms of how they play. This was sort of the big one that I was very scared of, I guess, going forward, because this is really changing how the tempo of the game works. I did nothing else last night but play a ton of Mercy, a ton of D.Va, and just watch sort of how the fights played out, and it's very different, and I think people are going to take a while to adjust to that.
Yeah, I think the higher tiers consensus is that they're happy that there's no longer any multi-reses happening anymore. But the issue that, of course, causes with new Mercy is that the fight's longevity is a lot longer. I mean, these general like skirmishes that would happen at the start of a fight might last 30 seconds, but now could last up to a minute, even more with the new Mercy. A lot of people talking about like having res at the start of a fight as well. What do you feel about that? Is that something you tone down, or do you feel that that's kind of just part and parcel of playing new Mercy?
I think that's just part and parcel of playing new Mercy. I mean, the thing with the arcade mode as well is that you get to play with a Widowmaker and a Hanzo in your team every single game, and as someone who plays like a small amount of Widowmaker now, it's very interesting how her ability to just, you know, instantly determine fights is completely changed. But one cool thing I've noticed, and this is like a playstyle thing, and there's like an old sniper trick, a real world sniper trick. If you injure someone and it lures out more people to go and help them, and then you can sort of get more kills, and you can kind of do the same with Mercy, right? Like, if someone gets too far forward, they get out of position, and you hit them and you kill them, then the Mercy's generally going to come out and try and res that person, like she'll dash forward, but of course she doesn't have immortality anymore. Because if you go out there and res that person, you are so vulnerable, you are going to die if you try and do that. And so I think like the big learning curve is knowing when to use that res, when to deploy it, and when someone, you've just got to let him go, because that's going to get you killed.
Do you think that this is going to make Mercy somewhat of a must pick?
I think so. I think yes, basically. The issue I see is that what is Mercy's weakness? Like, that's the big problem I see at the moment, is she brings you... Okay, this takes like a fundamental understanding of how death actually works in Overwatch, and you've got to think of death as like a time penalty. So when you die, there's like a 10-second respawn time, and then there's the distance you've got to cover as you come back from respawn. That's sort of the big penalty for dying. There's this timeout period. Mercy removes that timeout period. She has a 30-second cooldown for it. So like Symmetra is powerful because she removes the second component. You have the respawn, but there's no walkback time. Mercy just instantaneously. And the issue is this. Mercy puts out tons of healing, the damage amp is extremely useful, she's relatively good at surviving, and she picks you back up like an instant heal. Where's the weakness? What's the weak point there? What doesn't she do that other heroes do? And the ultimate now is also like teamfight winning. Previous Mercy, you had it where the res sort of had to come in and had to work, and her vulnerability was if she didn't get the res off, she's incredibly weak. Like, she provides some good support, she's like average support, but when she's got the res, she's usually hiding in the backline, she's not actually doing much, and then if she fails to get that res off, then it's just zero impact. The issue with new Mercy is the resurrect is consistent, and the ultimate is extremely powerful. Like, you will just win a team fight off the back of it, and you'll be able to res 2 people pretty much instantaneously, and then just keep resing every 10 seconds. Why wouldn't I pick Mercy? And that's sort of the hard place that I'm trying to figure out at the moment, is when don't I pick Mercy? When is Zenyatta going to be better? When is Ana going to be better, for example?
So you've got a hero that's had, you know, mild popularity, lots of players like to play her, but she's not the best option with until now. Now she's sort of a must pick. Does that run the risk of what's happened with Junkrat, what has happened with Bastion, to an extent is going to get toned down a little bit over the next sort of few days?
I don't think it's going to be the next few days. I'd like, and personally I'd kind of enjoy Blizzard just to give it a little bit of time, just, you know, a little bit of breathing room just to see how it actually pans out, because it is a 30-second cooldown, and that's still going to be sort of fresh in people's mind. It's kind of, you know, you have that moment of like, oh my god, she's just picked up the Roadhog we just spent ages killing. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. But then you realize if you played the new Mercy, that 30 seconds does feel like a long time, and like, if 2 people die in a row, then you can't do anything about it, and you're still probably going to lose the fight. But it's new, and it's different, and so you just have to get used to the new and different.
Now, D.Va is another hero that has been tuned down a little bit. I'd say it's more of a nerf because Defense Matrix was such a huge ability for D.Va to have that I think it was about time that it got toned down a little bit. Where do you sort of see D.Va now? Because I still think that she's an offensive option that people may like to use, kind of like Roadhog currently, where if you're good with him, you can make it work. But when it comes to the off-tank role within a team, especially for like the higher tiers and the pros and stuff, I don't think that's gonna be the case anymore.
So what I was doing a lot when like Junkertown and the changes hit the PTR, and when the changes hit live as well, is I played a lot of the new D.Va because I really wanted to try and figure out, okay, what is this hero now? You know, like I said with Mercy, new is scary. D.Va is new. D.Va is very much going to have that same impact that Roadhog had when he changed, where this is a new D.Va. This is basically a new hero. You cannot play her the same way you did before, which is very almost like very passively until you needed to sort of turn the aggression on, and then you suddenly just try and blitz people. But you're mostly playing around like supports and defense matrixing, support damage going onto your supports, or maybe some damage going onto your main tanks, and then when the defense matrix runs out, then you're sort of going more aggressive. The way I see D.Va now is either you do a very aggressive dive, like last night I managed to play with a Winston that like we just kind of synced up, and if Winston and D.Va both dive for support, you don't need a Genji anymore, you don't need a Tracer. Like the example I gave was Ana, and it's like if you just dive onto Ana with rockets and the left click, and then just defense matrix a grenade, there's nothing she can do.
Yeah, and you can also shoot whilst you're flying as well, so that's like a huge amount of burst damage.
You can shoot while flying, you can shoot rockets while defense matrixing, and so it's like you just put a defense matrix on her, rocket her down, Winston lands on her, and she's just going to explode. And it's like, this is just an instant dive in a can. Now, the balancing factor to that is that the D.Va is just not tanky anymore. Like, you have so few options to actually survive once you've gone in. So, it's either you play D.Va with this very aggressive dive style, and you just sort of go for one kill very quickly, one sort of high impact kill, and then try and maybe do 1 or 2 bits and pieces elsewhere, or you use her to clean up. Because this is the other thing I noticed, she's the queen of cleanup, the undisputed queen of just annihilating a target that's sort of on 50% hit points and is running away. There's nothing they can do about it. You just turn the engines on, gun them down through the air, you feel like an Apache helicopter, and you just kill them. Like, the amount of mercies I managed to hunt down and chase down is huge. There's a learning curve there. There's a new learning curve, and that's going to really scare people, I think, and really put people off.
Yeah, there's probably a little combo there that's going to work out, and I don't necessarily think the D.Va's going to fall out of favour as much as, say, Roadhog did when he was initially nerfed. I do think the likes of Low-Key Nerd and all of these other people that like play D.Va will still have a huge amount of success on it, and probably a lot more fun as well. I think that there was an element of playstyle.
It's so fun.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Like, what are your thoughts on the new Reinhardt change? What do you think about that?
I think it's going to be difficult to get used to for a while. It is a quality of life change. It's not a buff really for Reinhardt. It's just a nice bit of kit that can help you in those situations where you're not sure what's quite behind you, and you can give good insight to what's going on as well, which is obviously really important for a hero like Reinhardt. So I really like it, but it's just a minor thing more than anything. So I guess to sort of finish on, where can people see more of you? And also, as a support main yourself, do you think that you're going to be picking up the new Mercy quite a lot? What are your sort of intentions and plans? What are you expected to see from these changes as well? Any heroes that are going to rise and fall in your own sort of predictions?
So my own predictions are basically Tracer's going to be an absolute nightmare to deal with. She's just going to run around and kill people. Pulse Bomb's going to be a little bit less of a problem, because usually one person dies to a Pulse Bomb. So unless you're sticking the Mercy, then Mercy's just going to res them. And training an ult for a res isn't huge value for that ult, even something as cheap as Pulse Bomb. In terms of my plans for the season, yes, I'm absolutely going to play the new Mercy. I've been looking forward to the new changes to play the new Mercy, because I hate playing old Mercy, basically. And so new Mercy is much more active. She's much more the Mercy playstyle that I prefer, which is sort of bouncing around the team, triaging people, and then finding little sneaky ways to damage jump and provide extra support to the team. And I love doing that kind of stuff, so I'm looking forward to playing new Mercy. And finally, where people can find me, twitch.tv/ESL_one amongst many. Don't worry, I'm sure it's in the description. And also youtube.com/one amongst many. If you just Google me, I'm sure my Twitter will pop up, and then you can find everything from there.
And that's it for this time. Thank you very much for watching. As Josh said, you can find him in the description below with all of his details. Does a lot of coaching and the likes, so do check him out there. Like and subscribe for more things like this. Do let us know what you think of the changes as well in the comments below. And until next time, take care. We'll see you then.